to AM Live. We are live. I'm here with the lovely Virginia and the beautiful Amber this morning. How are you, Mom?
I'm good. Thank you.
I'm going to call you Mom this morning because
Sure.
you are the mother of Stephen.
I am.
And Stephen is one of our soldiers over in Afghanistan. And Virginia, your grandson just left.
Yes, he's there now.
He's there now.
He left Tuesday.
Great. That's wonderful. And this is a very interesting story, and I want you to tell our viewers about Stephen over there.
Okay. Well, Stephen left for Afghanistan in June, the end of June. He was stationed in Puli Alam. Dangerous area over there. It's eastern Afghanistan, and it's pretty much a hotbed right now.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't take long. He had his first experience with the danger there, riding in a truck, and ran over an IED.
Oh my gosh.
It was pretty scary for him. An interesting thing about that, in the truck, there was 7 grenades that had their pins blown out. None of them exploded. So
oh my gosh.
they all had their angels with them.
Yes, no kidding.
The truck was completely destroyed, but all of them walked away from that.
Well,
and that
thank
was
God.
Yes. Wasn't so lucky recently. He was out on patrol. His team came up on an IED they saw. They got out to defuse that. Some of the guys had to set up a perimeter to keep the area safe.
Mm-hmm.
And they started taking heavy fire, AK-47 and RPG fire. And it was during that time that an elderly gentleman came from the village walking like he was going to get into the line of fire. And the sergeants said, "Get that guy into cover. We need to protect him. He was a civilian."
Mm-hmm.
And as they were doing that, Stephen said he looked at the guy and he just suddenly got this terrified look on his face, and then he just blew up. He was a suicide bomber.
Oh my God.
Yes. Stephen was about 10 feet away from him at that time, and he took some heavy shrapnel to his leg. His jaw was broken. He did lose 2 sergeants, and there was 2 others injured.
But he's healing, and he's doing.
He is healing. In fact, they expect that he'll be able to return to active duty.
Oh,
So,
wonderful!
yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. You're very calm. I'd be a mess.
Yeah, it's difficult at times. You just have to. I know that he wouldn't want me to be a wreck,
Right.
and so I just have to maintain that. And I know that he's okay, and that's the big part.
Absolutely. And all of our prayers and thoughts are with our soldiers every day. And it's like moms like you and grandmas like you that that keep them going. So tell me about Jesse. He just got there.
He did just get there, and last time I talked to him, he was getting his guns and loading into the plane, and so he's over there. He'll be up in the mountains.
Oh, wow.
They're establishing a base. Why, I don't know, since we're getting out of this war, but they're establishing a new base.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very dangerous up in the mountains, and
I can imagine.
They've already told him you may not get food. You'll be living in tents. You have to have rations, and he is an engineer, so they're actually the first to go in and make way, as Stevens troop was, to make way for the people behind them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is dangerous, and they are told they're going to have to work with the Afghan people. And I just heard yesterday that the Taliban is actually saying their biggest victory is the infiltration of the Afghan people, and that's their greatest weapon against the United States, which does not make us feel very good, especially when, our children and grandchildren at 20 years old,
Right.
Are right in the middle of this. And of course, it's the middle of winter too.
Yes.
There, and
Right.
it's
And
extremely
so they're getting
cold.
ready for the Arab Spring. And when everything thaws, that's when everything starts
Right.
jumping. And
Right.
I
It's
think-
still
I think-
very active through the winter, but not like in the spring because of how bitterly cold it is, and
Right.
the mountains are very isolated.
Right. Well, I think that it's wonderful that that these young people go over there and they fight for other people's freedom as well as keeping our home front, showing them how strong that we are. But you guys are to be commended because of your strength and doing this for your kids. I mean, and grandkids, this is fantastic, to
Well,
support them.
This is why it's important to be involved in your country and not just
Absolutely.
sit back. And so when we watch the news at night and we hear about things that are happening to our troops that we don't, like Vietnam, people just got complacent
Right,
and forgot.
right. That
We've
was
got
ugly.
local faces, and
Yes.
there are others in our community. And I'm
Absolutely.
sure there are parents and grandparents that have daughters and sons and grandchildren that are over there.
Sure.
And we just cannot forget
No.
that the sacrifice is right here at home.
And the boys are buddies.
Yes.
Yes.
So
yeah.
that makes
They
it
went
nice.
to
School
Argonauts.
Argonaut
Together.
High School. Isn't
Yes.
that wonderful?
Yes.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Thank you, ladies, and bless both of your sons. And
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, ESPN.